Consider this chemistry question. Zinc oxide is a dash. A. Basic oxide. B. Acidic oxide. C. Amphoteric oxide. D. Neutral oxide. And E. Reactive oxide. So this is a question on Chemistry JAM 1978, question 1. Very good. So the correct answer to this question is amphoteric oxide. So what do you mean by amphoteric oxide? So in fact, first of all, what is an oxide? An oxide is a binary compound that contains, in which oxygen is the last element. So if you have an element combining with oxygen, whereby oxygen is the second element, so such compound is called an oxide. So sometimes when oxygen combines with, sometimes oxygen can combine with a metal, while sometimes it combines with a non-metal. So now, when oxygen combines with a metal, it leads to what we call basic oxide. So such oxide will be a base. So that's why we call it basic oxide. For example, if magnesium combined with oxygen, we have magnesium oxide. So that's magnesium oxide, MgO. So this is a basic oxide. So it is a base, as you can see it. So another one is if you have something like sodium oxide, Na2O. This is a base. So this is a basic oxide, and so on. Now, when oxygen combines with a non-metal, such combination leads to the formation of acidic oxide. It means if a non-metal combines with oxygen, it leads to the formation of acid. So a good example is if you have a non-metal like carbon and it combines with oxygen to form CO2, this is an acid, it's an acidic oxide. Let's have another one. Another one like, let's add a non-metal and then we have oxygen combining with it. Let's something like SO2. So this is sulfur 4 oxide. This is carbon 4 oxide, ETC. So in fact, this oxide, we call them acid anhydrides because when they dissolve in water to form the corresponding acid. For example, if this dissolves in water, it forms the corresponding triisocarbonate 4 acid. When this dissolves in water, it forms triisosulfate 4 acid. So now, what do we now mean by amphoteric oxide? An amphoteric oxide is a type of oxide that behaves like both acid and base. So it behaves like both acid and base. So example, most times the transition metals are the one that form this. Most times, mostly. When a transition metal like zinc, when it combines with oxygen, it leads to the formation of amphoteric oxide. So a good example is what we have here, which is zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is amphoteric oxide. So another one is aluminium oxide. So and so on. So we have so many examples of amphoteric oxide. Now, neutral oxide is a type of oxide that doesn't behave like an acid nor a base. So they are neutral. So they don't have the property of acid and they don't have the property of base. So most times a non-metal combines with oxygen to form neutral oxide. So for example, the common carbon monoxide or carbon 2 oxide, this is a neutral oxide. And then the usual laughing gas that everybody knows, N2O, this is dinitrogen 1 oxide. So it is a neutral oxide too. Now, what do we now mean by reactive oxide? So we have different reactive oxide. So it can be superoxide, it can be peroxide. We have superoxide, like potassium oxide and so on. So, and also we have peroxide. Peroxide, a good example of peroxide is hydrogen peroxide and then sodium peroxide. And then we have ozone. So all these ones are reactive oxide, these three. So, but the correct answer to this zinc oxide is amphoteric oxide. Thank you. God bless you.